Around the country, there are 20 plus actions going on to demand the end of fossil fuel funding. So this is a historical moment. And we want to uplift all of the different peoples, all of the different communities that are fighting right now. I know in San Francisco, they have chained themselves to a Black Rock building. And so giving our prayers to those water protectors there, water protectors in Denver, also holding space at Chase Banks right now. And so we really want to just acknowledge them and uplift the national movement. But it's so important for us to be here because, as Ruti said, water is everywhere. Water is life. And so in order to continue to protect future generations and make sure that there are resources and water for future generations, we need to be here. We need to be here using our voice, amplifying and uplifting the voices of Indigenous Black and Brown people, Indigenous Black and Brown people on the front lines. And, you know, we're forever saying stop line 3 until it is stopped. Until it is stopped. So with that, I just wanted to uplift the national movement real quick. And I'm going to pass it on to Gopal.
Hi everyone, just want to say thank you all for coming out. It's super stoked to see everybody here. Thank you to the International Indigenous Youth Council and all the other orgs that are here today. Super glad to have you here. Something here, I'm from Gopal, my name is Eddie Olsen Enamorado. And we're part of Gopal. We represent Latinx folk here in the Twin Cities. We're an advocacy group for policy and we do actions as well. And something that we want people to understand and to make clear is the idea of climate migration. We had drought here in Minnesota this summer. Everybody knows it was one of the worst droughts we've had. They have, in Central America and Latin America, really bad droughts as well. And hurricanes are getting worse, more unpredictable, and these banks are funding extraction of resources, which creates conflicts between communities, community members, and all of these combined, it has a cumulative impact on the communities there. Not only because these issues are worse there just in terms of like magnitude, but also they have fewer resources to deal with them. And so it's driving all sorts of conflicts that lead to people leaving these areas because their homes are no longer safe. And so with that, they migrate here to the US and find themselves facing similar, if not worse, environmental racism. Worse air quality, they have worse water quality, they don't have the same access to green spaces as other communities here in the Twin Cities even. You look at the stats, tree canopy cover, things like that. It's not equal. And so, so a key player that's driving a lot of this is the banks. They fuel the extraction of these resources, the deforestation. They fuel climate change, and they exacerbate these conflicts. And part of the reason that they keep doing this is because they think that we won't notice. They think that they can get away with it. Well, I think we're here today to send a message to them that they won't get away with it. But we do see them, and we see what they do, and they're going to feel it one way or another, whether it's their pockets or some other way. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank y'all for coming out. And can I get a stop line 3? Yeah!
Stop line 3!
Hello? Okay. Up next, I want to bring up a brother and relative in the fight. His name is Brandon Tulloch, and he's going to share a couple words and message with us.
How's everybody doing? Let me take a second to get situated here. I was back there trying to get the sound set up and stuff. Okay, so I wrote this piece. Hold on, I gotta swallow my gum.
Water! Drink some water. Good for you. I got some for you.
So I wrote this piece with Black and Indigenous solidarity in mind. Last year around this time I wrote a piece of Black and Brown solidarity, but I felt that this was very necessary. If you're in the audience and you identify as either Black or Indigenous, go ahead and raise your hand for me. All the white people here, go ahead and give them a round of applause for me. Thank you. So yeah, this piece is just essentially Black and Indigenous solidarity. I'll get into it a little bit and then, yeah, it's self-explanatory. So this piece is titled, Who Are You? Sometimes I stare in the mirror and I ask the person looking back at me, who are you? And I don't mean what's your favorite food or favorite song or favorite color, but actually, yeah, just like that. But only if I knew who you were going to be before. Like, what would your favorite food be if you knew your ancestors' recipes that were passed down over open flames in your village? What type of music would you listen to if you could hear the drums of your rituals echoing through your homeland? Like, what color would be your favorite if you knew the flag your nation flew before you saw your family's blood stain the red on the flag of the country who colonized yours? How would you sound speaking your native tongue? Like, why do you even speak English? Like, ¿por qué tú puedes entender un poquito de español? See, my father is from Jamaica. So when he disassimilates, he speaks patois. He eats jerk chicken and fried plantain, listens to the reggae of Papa Michigan and General Smiley. But I want to know how we spoke, what we ate, and who we listened to before we ever crossed paths with a slave trader or conquistador or colonizer or explorer or discoverer or whatever name those evil white men gave themselves to humanize their vile acts of inhumanity. Like, who are you? I'm sorry I never even got your name. Tulloch. That's ironic. People say that you're a black king, but what's your relationship to the Tulloch Castle in Scotland? Are you royalty because your ancestry shows a white man who forcefully planted his seed in the womb of an unsuspecting slave? Or were your people just the ones the Tullocks would buy and trade? See, my father is Jamaican, but only as Jamaican as an African can be, because the history of the island is told like that of all the land colonized in the West, killed the indigenous, enslaved the African, erased their identities and criminalized their cultures, leaving us to question who we are. See, two struggles can never truly be compared, for the complexity of the realities are too different even in their similarities. But the plight of our peoples share a common denominator more so than any others. From the day they arrived on the shores of our lands, white supremacist settler colonialism has been the root of destruction for both the indigenous and the African, the native and the captive, the red and the black. Our struggles are different, yes, but we cannot forget about each other. For every African enslaved, we cannot forget about the numerous native lives that were erased. For every forced pregnancy and sexual assault on a plantation, we cannot forget about the missing and murdered indigenous women on the reservation. For every Emmett Till, we cannot forget about the thousands of residential school children buried in unmarked graves. For every case of police brutality, we cannot forget that it is black and indigenous who have the highest probabilities. And as I stare in the mirror, I now know who it is looking back at me. I know who you are. You may think that you are lost, but you are finding parts of yourself that were never meant to be found. Becoming a mosaic of all the pieces that were left in ruin. I know who you are. You're a survivor. You carry the blood of your ancestors who were never allowed to make it this far. You're a survivor. You are the posterity that was never meant to exist in the future they attempted to manifest. You're a survivor. Not gonna give up. Not gonna stop. You gonna go harder. Say you're a survivor. You gonna make it. You will survive. Keep on surviving. For them to believe in their superiority is one thing, but to then manifest it as their destiny is wild. If you're black or indigenous and you live in this, you're a survivor. But if you're Caucasian in this nation, you ain't nothing but manifest destiny's child.
Our brother Brandon. I don't know about you, but I want to keep protecting our waters. Am I right? Stop line 3! Stop line 3! Stop line 3! With that, I want to turn it over again to our good medicine, our relatives who are from these lands, who these are their lands, and hand it over to the dancers and our drummers and our relatives to give us some good medicine.
but
Okay.
I have a gamer, so it's fine. But I tried to rent out my mom's computer 5 years ago, and that did not work well.
They run on your old computer?
Yeah.
Why are you actually using yours?
Like 10th Gen i7.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I'm
finding it hard to accomplish work stuff. Maybe we'll make an hour later.
I'm gonna take a shot.
Right there.
Testing. All right. Sorry about that. All right, so right now we're gonna start getting ready to go ahead and take the streets. I want to call up our good relative Steve here, who's gonna give us a couple instructions on how we're gonna do this. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to Steve. But I just want to hear you. Stop line 3. Stop line 3. We're getting better. We're getting better. Hello. Okay. Steve.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for standing with these great activists here, setting up this great event to Stop Line 3 and for climate justice and indigenous rights. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to be here. We're going to start getting this march rolling. Sorry about that. We're going to start getting this march rolling. If you would please walk along this way down the sidewalk to Oxford, where we're going to start staging, and then we'll start getting it going. Thank you very much.
If you have a banner, you're holding a long banner, we're going to need you up in the front. If you brought like a long banner that's going to take up a big space, please come meet us up in the front over here. Thank you.
That shit had me crying, bro.
Your work is amazing, by the way. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Brandon. Is there somewhere up there I can stick this? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Dang, we don't even have to hop up there and do that. Running up. Come on. Running up. Back in the car or what?
Oh, you want your hip? You want the hip?
Huh?
You want the hip?
No. What do you want? What do you want the speaker? You want him off the truck? Back in the truck?
Can you help us take off the generator?
Where's it going?
It's in the back seat.
That's not plugged into anything on my own.
I'm so ready.
You want to start this one more so that the drum doesn't blow your ears out?
I'm not. I'm not.
I won't go
Line 3! Alright, y'all gonna have to work with me because it's moving now, okay? So I need y'all to be up in energy with me. Can y'all do that? Can y'all do that? Because as you know, Honor the Earth and a lot of other indigenous groups right now, they're losing momentum. And we cannot lose momentum. No matter if it takes 10 years, no matter if it takes a whole century, it doesn't matter. We have to keep resisting. We have to keep going. So I ask, as we march, bring that energy up, all right? All right? Can you do that for me?
I'm just wondering if you want to upload some of the video or photos to like the National Actions website. Okay, I'm live streaming right now. Oh, great. Yeah, so okay, you want to grab it from there or inbox me and I'll send you what I have. Okay. Do you have a What's your...
Stop line 3!
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 Honor the treaties!
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 Water is life!
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 All right, thank you everybody for your time. Thank you for everybody for your time and your energy. Please follow me down this way, down the sidewalk this way. We're gonna go over to the street and get the party started.
Hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! I can't hear you!
Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go. Enough of them. Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go.
Line 3 has got to go, hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go, hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go, hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go, hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go, hey hey! Ho ho!
Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey. Oh, oh. Line 3 has got to go, hey, hey.
Line 3 has got to go. Hey, hey.
Line 3! Line 3. Line 3. Line 3. Line 3. Line 3. Line 3.
I think it's safe.
Line 3. Line 3. Line 3. Line 3. Line 3. Line 3.
Line 3.
Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho!
Line 3!
Stop!
Line 3!
Stop!
Line 3!
Stop!
Line 3!
Stop! Line 3! Stop!
Line 3!
Stop! Line 3! Stop!
Line 3!
Stop! Line 3! Stop! Line 3! Stop! Line 3! Stop! Line 3! Stop! Line 3! Stop!
Line 3!
Hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Line 3 has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
So I know that you're one of the organizers for this event. Can you talk about the importance of stopping Line 3?
The importance of stopping Line 3, as we mentioned, is for our future generations. If we don't do this now, we will not have clean water. We will not have, there's no planet B. We will not be able to look at all this greening that we see around us. And you know, this isn't a fight that we've been like just starting. This has been a fight that's been forever going. Treaties have not been honored, and therefore, we as a youth understand the need for us to stop fossil fuels, because if we don't, literally we don't have another planet. We don't have, we barely have resources as it is. We also have to stop the exploitation of indigenous people, black and brown people. And so, once again, it's for our future. When I think about it, I think about my siblings, I think about my cousins, my little ones, my other little ones, that if we don't do this now, we don't continue this fight, we won't be able to ever have clean water. We won't have the vegetation that we have now.
And then can you talk about, because today is a part of a national action, can you talk about the national effort?
Yes, so as mentioned, this is a national effort today. October 29th has been the National Day of Action, and so we are actually not one of the only ones who are doing action today. We have people in Denver, we have people in San Francisco, we have people in New York City. This is an act of solidarity, a cry, to really pressure President Biden and all of the officials to really make it, if they really care about the climate crisis, to really stop that from happening.
Have you been following the hunger strike in DC at all?
Yes. We sent prayers and we got in contact with a couple of the young folks there, because I believe it's 4 or 5 of them who are on a hunger strike right now, to really bring again that awareness that we don't have anywhere else to go, and if we don't protect this, if we don't continue the ways, the traditional ways that we have always known for, we won't be able to live long.
Anything else you want to say for other people who are not understanding what this is all about and why they should get involved?
I want to say that if you drink a glass of clean, clear water today, you should care about this. If you have vegetables and fruits in your vegetation, you should care about this. Because if you don't, then you will not be able to do that very soon.
Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you, Ruti.
wanna know. People wanna know. What we fight for. What we fight for. So we tell them. So we tell them. Say no more pipeline. No more pipeline. No more pipeline. No more pipeline. Say no more pipeline. 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 Say no more pipeline. No more pipeline. No more pipeline. No more pipeline. When I say stop, you say line 3. Stop. 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 Line 3. When I say no more, you say pipelines. No more. Pipeline. 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 No more. When I say stop, you say line 3. Stop. Line 3. Stop. Line 3. Stop. 3 has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Line 3 has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Line 2 has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Line 3 has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. protectors are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When water protectors are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When Mother Earth is under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When Mother Earth is under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. 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 Line 3. 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 Flag lines. Flag lines. Flag lines. Flag lines. Flag lines. Flag lines. Everybody can gather among you. Just go ahead and spread out. Come this way. Come around. Wherever you occupy the space, please.
marching with us. So we're here outside of Governor Tim Walz's mansion because, can y'all hear me? Okay. We're here outside of Governor Tim Walz's mansion because although he says he cares about indigenous rights and he cares about climate justice, he has not taken a stance on Line 3. And that is in our backyard. So boo Tim Walz. Boo Tim Walz. It is so important that we keep going. Although Line 3 is done being built, we need to keep going. Since it's been built, it has transported 760,000 barrels of tar sands oil per day. Per day through the Mississippi River, which is a local water source not only for surrounding residents, but for our indigenous relatives on reservations. And Mississippi River is home to several thousand beds of manoomin, of wild rice, which is a very, very sacred grain to indigenous people and surrounding communities. And Tim Walz, silent, nothing. So we're here to tell Tim Walz to take a stand, to tell him to stop Line 3. Stop Line 3? Stop Line 3! Tim Walz, stop Line 3? Stop Line 3! Stop Line 3? Stop Line 3! So we're also here today because I don't know if y'all know, but there also is a Chase Bank down the street, maybe a 2-minute walk. Chase Bank is JP Morgan Chase Bank, my bad, I gotta be correct about it, is one of the biggest funders of fossil fuels in the world. Chase funds $317 billion into fossil fuels. $317 billion. That money is going to fossil fuels when that money should be going to our houseless relatives who are all around our area. It should be going to indigenous communities. It should be going to black and brown communities. It should not be going into fossil fuels. And in addition, Chase Bank funds $1.8 billion specifically into Line 3. So it is one of the top funders. And it's crazy because Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of Chase Banks, is all oh yeah, climate justice, very similar to our friend Tim Walz over here. Love climate justice, indigenous rights, but no stance, and continues to fund $1.8 billion into Line 3. Hypocritical, right? So what I want y'all to do, because like Ruthie said earlier, it's not enough to come to a rally and just chant. Yes, it's part of the work, but there's so much more to do. If you or someone else you know has a bank account open with Chase Banks, not only Chase Banks, but Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, tell them to take their account out now because they are contributing to the funding of fossil fuels, to the funding of Line 3, which is right in our backyard in northern Minnesota. So please have those difficult conversations with your family, with your friends, with your community, and tell them to bank with, a local credit union. They're dope. Also check if they fund some sort of fossil fuel project. But for the most part, yeah, no Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Bank of America. And my last ask of y'all today is to blow up Jamie Dimon's phone because he needs to hear our voices and he needs to know that we will not stand for him funding $3.87 billion into the fossil fuel industry as well as $1.8 billion to Line 3. So I'm going to say Jamie Dimon's phone number. Y'all better get your phones out, write it down, something, and call him. Call him up, blow up his phone, tell him to stop Line 3, tell him to stop funding fossil fuels, and to make a stance. So his number is 212-270-1111. I'm going to say it again. 212-270-1111. Actually, y'all, chant it with me. 212 270-1111. All right, y'all, call him up and tell him to stop Line 3, tell him to stop fossil fuel projects, and Plaza Kamati, thank you so much for being here. If we can stop the flow of money, we can also stop the flow of oil. Plaza Kamati.
With that, I want to invite our next relative, Max Lopez. He's going to offer some words. Y'all still hype? We're still stopping line 3, right? That's what I thought. I was like, y'all are too quiet over here.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Max Lopez. I'm a college student in Minnesota. 20 years old, and I write poetry. So I'm here to give you 2 poems. Is that okay with you? Yes, sir. Yeah? I bet. So this first poem is called Grow. And it's inspired off of this idea that Mother Earth is, she's always growing. It doesn't matter what we do or how we do it or what happens, she just keeps going. Regardless. You know how sometimes, you know, in the transition between spring and or winter to spring, it's always like really ugly in the middle. It kind of looks like Oreo McFlurries in the highways when there's a bunch of snow and it's like a bunch of dirt on there. It looks kind of musty, but she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't care. She's always just gonna keep going and keep growing. And after I usually read this poem, I often bring it back to myself and how I should grow and shit. But this isn't about me. This is about Mother Earth. And so it's a really short poem. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's called Grow. Mother Earth never seems to ask for permission to keep growing. She never seeks the approval from us to begin her next season, even if she looks a little rough in the transition. Her flowers bloom for everyone. Her trees stop for no one. I hope one day I can carry her same audacity. Changing for the better. Not worrying about how others will react in the process, even if it's hard, even if it's ugly. That was from Mother Earth. Stop line 3!
Stop line 3!
Stop line 3!
Stop line 3!
This next poem. Hello? Alright, this next poem is called Godless. I grew up in the church. I grew up going to church. I grew up believing in Jesus and, you know, stuff like that. And it was, once I got really deep into it, I realized how traumatizing it was in a lot of different ways, in the culture, in the people, in the authority, and stuff like that. And so, at some point, transitioning into the group that I'm in right now, Kalpuli Al Sinochli, I've been realizing a lot of stuff. And man, this poem came out of anger to the white church because of how ingrained they made me into Western culture, into Western beliefs and shit like that. This is godless. I will never be satisfied in a godless life. Not because I need someone to tell me what to do, but because I need someone to remind me that there's purpose flying in my breath. Spare your breath. When you try and tell me of your God that has cleansed natives of their demons, don't try and speak to me of a faith that has harvested a graveyard disguised as a garden. Say the words that skip over the chalk outline swimming in the ground. Don't try and speak to me in the language you buried my ancestors in alive. Look at me in the eyes and ask your past self. If you remember killing my ancestors, I wish Zapoteca knew how to drive my tongue. I wish I knew the purpose of their gods, because exploitation and capitalism will never be reasons for me to wake up in the morning. I hate how many pictures of white Jesus I have hung up in my heart. God was never supposed to be a shovel that was used to dig out my indigenous roots and left out of its soil to die. God was never supposed to be someone that took me further away from the people I know. I hate how easily his glory fits onto the face of a white man, but when you lay it down on a black woman, you have to think twice about how exactly that works. God was never supposed to be an excuse to let genocide become as American as apple pie. How dare you tell them to go back where they came from? Do you not know where you're from? Obviously, you've been reading too many high school textbooks where manifest destiny is glorified for its purity it has over a sea of brown dead bodies. I am now learning that deconstructing my faith is more of a heart transplant surgery than it is chemotherapy for a brain tumor, because you have to take everything out in order to replace it all. And at this point, God is more of a distant deity to me with no face than a white man telling me he died for me. And if I'm considering to pursue a journey with anyone, it's going to be one that lives with Mother Earth rather than off of her. Letting dollar bills go off of her suffering. Maybe money does go off of trees, but only when a body is sacrificed. Hung. I will not live among a God that is trying to erase my history or lead me to a place where I'm oblivious to my people. I imagine that the same way I taste Zapoteca is the same way the native kids tasted English in boarding schools. Strange. Fucking alien. Because that's what I am to my people. I am a second-class citizen trying to evolve back into an Indian. But they've worked so hard to get me here. God has worked so hard to get me here, leaving brown body after brown body buried in the ground to try and grow ignorance in a plant I've been forced to reap fruits from. You need to stop trying to crucify my identity into your cross. Let me become what I once was. The autopsy says my indigenous roots were strangled to death. They did not kill themselves. I bet if we dusted them for fingerprints, we would only find yours. Because I know you had a chance to kill them before I even knew they existed. This modern day genocide is all finally clicking suddenly. Kill the Indian, save the man. Sounds a lot like kill me, save you. Stop line 3! Stop line 3! Stop line 3! Stop line 3! Stop line 3!
I just want to say real quick, these poems, these words, the way that we worship the earth is fucking important. It's a way of resistance. It's a way for us to strive. It's a way for us to recognize who were the original people on this land. We cannot let colonialism, capitalism, the way that the white man has implemented us in our identities, be the way that we live, be the way that we identify as humane. At the end of the day, to be human, to have fucking rights, is for all of us to thrive in our culture, to thrive with our babies, to thrive with our future. And it's bullshit. At the end of the day, it's fucking bullshit that we have to kill, we have to genocide people in order for other people to live in privilege